assistant principal is there as well. Then the officer is called on scene to actually have the student removed from that location. The student refused, and the officer acted that you see on the video. Now, again, what we saw was just a tidbit of what that video showed. Of course, we're going to look at what happened that led up to it.
What's going on, everybody? That's a doggone shame. You dragged this little girl around the classroom like she was some old dog, man. And then you got this police chief, or whatever this spokesman was, saying, we need to review the tape and see what led up to this incident. Not review no tapes, brother. Just know that this was a girl in high school that it didn't take all that. You mean to tell me as a grown man who probably has about 70 pounds on this girl couldn't lift her up? He had to basically kick this chick? I know I'm exaggerating, but the fact is, it don't take too much to pick up no high school girl. It don't take that much. What I want to bring out in this video is why he even came in that room with that attitude in the first place. You see, there's a subculture within the police force that's been going on since it first began. I'm gonna get into that in a minute, because I know what it's like to be harassed by the police. I know what it's like to be stopped when I'm not doing nothing. Just be set on the ground like I just got involved with some vandalism. I'm just driving down the street minding my own business. And so I know what it is, man. I'm out there looking for a job. 2 police on horses come stopping me, asking me for my ID. I'm out there looking for a job. They said I almost hit a squirrel. Like, a squirrel? That's why you stopping me? Get that squirrel, man. I run that squirrel. I don't care about no squirrel. But that's why you stopping me, asking for my ID. I'm out there looking for direction to, a house. Going to pick somebody up. I was in a neighborhood I'd never been before. I stopped the police and asked them, do you know this address? They had me sitting on the ground, my legs crossed, asked my ID, and called headquarters to see if I got a record. For what? I asked you guys for it. Y'all didn't stop me. I stopped you guys. I'm walking home one night. I ain't got no hoodie on. I got my earphones on. I'm walking home. I ain't got no beer bottle. I ain't got no gun. I'm walking home. They stopped me, asked me where I'm going. So trust me, I know what it's like to mess with the police. And you didn't do anything. But guess what? You know I'm alive today? I kept my mouth closed. I was like Chris Tucker on Friday. Yeah, when they hear, I'll be quiet. When they leave, I'll start talking again. And that's how you need to be. Because the police ain't playing today. And us as black people, we not getting the clue. We think police is playing with us. What we need to understand is that when the police was created, the police force was created, it was never for the benefit of black people. Never, ever, ever, ever for the benefit of black people. So you sitting out there and think you finna get a fair trial on the street, you dead wrong. And you will end up dead. You see? And so I just want to understand, I want to bring it back to where the subculture, because within the police force there's a subculture that's been going on. I probably said that before. I want to get to that subculture. Yeah, man. See, when you're trying to do something, kids, they always get involved in something. But I just want to bring that up though. Sometimes kids can be hard headed, and sometimes you do want to snatch them up. But guess what? We'll go to jail. If I did to my daughter what that police did to that little girl in that school, I'll be in prison. So you know what that's showing us? The police has more authority to discipline your kids, who they're not even raising, who they could care less about. They have more authority to discipline your kids than you do. And what's interesting is when the police stop you, it's not even supposed to be a man that frisks another woman. They're supposed to call a woman as a backup. And so what he should have did, even though he was a man police in that school, he was school police, he should have called a woman police to come apprehend that little thing. And what us as black people need to stop doing is sitting there when we see the police thinking, I'm finna argue with this dude. You understand that dude got a badge on his shirt. He's authorized by the government to apprehend you if he want to. We need to get through our black skulls, man. Forgot what I was talking about. But anyway, let me get back to the subculture within this police force. Because it irritates me that me as a black person, I can pay taxes, but I'm not viewed as a citizen of this country. I'm not viewed with the same rights as my light-skinned counterparts, my bland counterparts in this country. My melanin somehow disqualifies me from being a citizen in this country, or being viewed as such. But anyway, going back to the subculture, I keep saying that because you understand that even though it's a police force, and either they say to serve and protect, that never applied to your black behind. That applied to the people who hired them, which was dominant society. Let me take a trip back to the 1600s, when the dominant society used to hire or have watchers, what they call night watchers. Because before there was a police force in this country, you were responsible for your own. I was responsible for protecting my kin. Later on, they had watchers, which means that they would do that during the night, so I can get some sleep. But since it was a volunteer job, like a neighborhood watch, some of these fools was drunk on the job. Some of these fools didn't even care. A lot of times they volunteered to get out of military service. Now, this evolved into the need for a police force in this country. A police force that was organized while we as black people were still slaves, viewed as 3/5 of a human being, viewed as cattle, viewed as beasts. We didn't have the same rights, and protect and serve never applied to us. Even after we was emancipated, the protect and serve never applied to us. Just look at what they used to do in the 60s. You're not protecting people when you shooting water holes, when you letting dogs out on the citizens, the so-called citizens of this country. That's not protecting us. And so that subculture came straight right through the Civil War all the way to the 21st century. Very interesting that the main priority of the police force was never to stop crime. That was a secondary thing, because it was always a reactionary force, meaning that police was not out there looking for criminals. They only came after criminals when it was called. So their main priority as a police force was to maintain order. And this goes to why the police force was actually organized in the first place. I believe in 1833 or 1834 in New York, they had a need to make a systemized police force because of the population growth. And it's funny, they use these little catchphrases, these little what do you call it? I can't think of the words. It's words that have a double meaning to it. If you're not attuned to it, you'll start to be misled by it. The main reason they said they needed a police force in the 1800s is because of, one, riots, and two, what was the other one? I can't remember what the other one was. riots and conflict. Oh man, I can't remember what it was. Oh man, what was it? I can't remember what it was. But anyway, be riots. I'll take the riots first. When that Industrial Revolution came off, because remember when they came over in this country, the European settlers, when they came in this country was agricultural. And everybody picked their own. You planted your fruit, you picked it. That's why the need for slaves came, because if I'm white, lazy, and fat, I look at that big old cotton field, that sugar field, I'm not getting my fat behind out there again. Oh, get you some workers. I got money to do it. But eventually in the North, there was an industrial revolution that took place. And that's basically why the North stopped needing slaves. It wasn't because they didn't believe black people should be slaves. No, the North didn't need slaves no more. It would have cost more to have slaves than it would to have the Industrial Revolution. That's why the North didn't want it. And what they wanted was a monopoly on the slaves. That's why they fought against the Civil War. It wasn't to free all black guys. Man, that's another subject. But when the Industrial Revolution happened, you had immigrants coming to this country. Just like today. You had immigrants from Italy, Scandinavia. Basically, neo-white people, I would say, that came to this country. And due to the increase in population, there was conflicts going on. And remember, police was not called to stop crime. And when they used that conflict, when there was conflict and crime and things like that going on, you know what that crime was? It was racial crime. Because the dominant society don't like to be outnumbered. When you're a little wimp and you see other people getting bigger than you, you see other people outnumbering you, you start to act like a chihuahua and start attacking. And that's what the dominant society did. When these immigrants came, they was attacking them. And so that's why they needed a police force to keep that order in society. See, they used it as, oh, there was so much crime going on. The poor people of this country was just having so much crime. No. The racist white people of this country was attacking people who came over this country to get them a good job. And so we need order in society. Second reason was the strikes, as what they call riots. They would say that, oh, there was riots going on. No, it wasn't riots. Those riots were nothing but strikes that went on during this time. Because people weren't getting paid what they thought they were supposed to get paid. And so just like when you have Fox News put the word protest at the bottom of the screen, when people are standing up there with signs, riots, when people are standing there with signs, they don't understand what a riot is. They go to the hood where people are throwing bottles and stuff. That's a whole other group of people. But when I'm out there peacefully protesting, how you gonna call me a riot? And you send out people out there with riot gear. So again, those two, because of the increase in crime, and also the so-called riots, which was actually strikes that went on. But in their minds, it was riots. And again, it's a subculture. I'm going to take it deeper for you guys. Going down to the South. I can't remember who called it. He said the South was actually the first or the original police force. You know what the police used to do in the South? Never stop crime. They were slave patrols. And these people were basically hired to catch runaway slaves. And then when they caught them, torture them and sometimes kill them. That's what the original police was out there for. And so when you're black behind sitting out there arguing with the police, just understand that you argue with somebody who is not listening to you. Their whole mind is to take you back to a situation where you have no freedom. You think when they caught a runaway slave and a runaway slave was sitting there arguing with that slave patrol was sitting there giving them time, oh, okay, well, in that case, go ahead and be free. And sometime in our black minds, in our dumb minds, we think when we finna argue with the police, oh, okay, well, in that case, I'm sorry, I stopped you. I made a mistake in judgment. Sometimes we can be so stupid. It irritates me when I see stuff on TV. That little girl should have gave up her cell phone. You ain't have no cell phone in school anyway. What you need a cell phone in school anyway? You supposed to be learning. Who you calling? Dr. Phil? Who you calling? The science guy? Bill Nye, the science guy? You'd have no need for a cell phone in school. That should be in your locker till you get out or you go to recess. No reason to text or do anything during class. When that police came in class, should have gave it to him or walked out. Talk to the principal, tell him what you're dealing with, and it would have been all good. That's what I did. That's what I'm saying. My black behind right here, no scars on my face. I didn't get no billy club to the back of my head. Nothing. But anyway, I'm talking about the police. And this is the point I wanted to make. When the slave patrol caught a runaway slave, say they caught Harriet Tubman. You think if Harriet Tubman said, "Why are you messing with me? You have no right to mess with me." You think that slave patrol was going to sit there and listen to her? His whole mind was to take her back to a place where she was not free, she was not treated like a human. And so when the police stop you today for what you're not doing nothing, their whole mindset is to put you in a situation where you're not free and you have no say about yourself. And what place is that today? That's prison. That's prison. And I just want to read this interesting because it says that there were three main goals or three objectives of the slave patrol in the South. One, to search slave lodges for whatever reason. I'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to read something about Nat Turner that came into the play with there. To disassemble meetings organized by slaves. I mean, there's too many slaves in one group. Oh, no, y'all, too many Negroes in one group. Y'all need to get on out of there. Go do something. Last part, keep slaves off the road. If that ain't interesting, I don't know what is. And so we gotta wonder when we're walking down the street as a black person, no paraphernalia, nothing, mind our own business, why the police stopping us? Because when the police force first started in the South, one of their main objectives was to keep slaves off the road. And if you give the slave patrol mouth, you might end up in jail. That's where they wanted you at. If they couldn't control slaves, if they couldn't beat them enough, they put them in prison. Yeah, they had prisons back then in slavery. And some slaves did end up in prison. The ones that could be beat and beaten to submission, those who stayed free. The ones who couldn't get beat, they get thrown in prison. Sometimes not fed or anything like that. And so yeah, when the police mess with us, they want to take us to prison. They want to apprehend. To protect and serve never applied to us as black people. See this skin color right there? To protect and serve didn't apply to that. To apprehend and shoot your black behind. That's what the police came out there for. And that shield, that badge, that's a shield. Miniaturized. Whereas when a white person or the dominant society see a police, they're protecting us. That shield is for the Ku Klux Klan rallies. Because a lot of Ku Klux Klan work for police. So that shield is facing away from the Ku Klux Klan rally. That shield is facing away from the dominant society. When the police come from us, that shield is against us as an act of warfare. You see in ancient Rome, when you seen that shield, it wasn't for you. That shield was protecting something you was finna throw at it. You see? And so that subculture today, that the main priority of the police is not so much as stopping crime, but to maintain order. And stopping crime might fit into that, but the main priority of the police is to maintain order. And so why the police know what people are doing. The police know who out there selling dope. Police know who's doing what. But if you keep that in order, meaning that if I'm selling dope on a corner and the police roll through the block, as long as there ain't too much Negroes in one area, they're going to roll right by. Because they're not trying to stop crime. They're trying to maintain order. There's too many Negroes on the block, too many Negroes on the porch. They finna pull over. Even though there's no crime going on, they finna pull over. What you guys doing? What's going on, brothers? So yeah, there's a subculture, and I keep saying that. I want to put that into a person's mind, and when you see the police think that they have a subculture. It's interesting though, man, and you know, me as a black person, we all know police brutality ain't nothing new. Police brutality go way back, as long as we've been in this country. Police brutality goes back to the civil rights movement, when again, they used to let the dogs out on us. Come with them batons, hit us side our head, knock us out. I mean, they were swinging, man. They wasn't playing. They were not playing with us. Police brutality was nothing to play with, and it's nothing new. But it seems like ever since Barack became president, ever since they lost that, because you understand, the police used to be involved in politics. I'll let you look that up yourself. But as soon as a black man became the most powerful person in this country, it seemed like they took it to a whole new level, man. And thanks to the cell phone, white people are seeing that we're not over exaggerating. See, in dominant society, what they think is, look, we gave you guys your freedom, man. We gave you guys a black president. Oh, man, you guys even got money now, man. You guys can own your own business. What are you talking about racism for, man? Ain't got nothing to do with it. Because you can give a dog that. In your mind, he's still a dog. So you give anybody anything you want to. But until you change your view of that person, you're not going to treat him the way you would treat your mama. It's interesting. As I said before, it seems that the police has took it to a whole new level since we see a black person in office. Let me read you an excerpt, if you will, from this book I'm reading called The Classic Slave Narratives, dealing with the Nat Turner insurrection. Let me tell you what they did, because see, when you watch Roots, they touch a little bit on Nat Turner, but they don't show too much about what happened with the blacks who weren't involved in that, because they were trying to send a message that, yeah, you guys might kill some of us. Y'all Negroes we're still over you guys. Let me read this to you. Alright. It said, I knew nothing annoyed them so much as to see colored people living in comfort and respectability. It annoys nothing more to the dominant society than to see a black person acting respectably. You see, when Barack went into office, they didn't expect his wife to come with class and dignity. They didn't expect his daughters to talk with respect. They didn't expect him to win. But again, in their mind, they thinking that, oh, black people think this is their country. And that's why you hear a lot of times, we want our country back. When did you ever lose it, brother? A black person become president will make this our country. So in their mind, they're thinking that we think this is our country because we got a black president. And so how do you show those who are inferior that we still run this place? Let me read some more what this lady read. It said when the Nat Turner insurrection came, they couldn't really catch him. It said this was a grand opportunity for the low whites who had no Negroes of their own to scourge, a chance to exercise a little brief authority. See that? That's what this whole thing boils down to. It's an opportunity to exercise authority. You understand that the police, a lot of them become police to exercise authority. If they didn't have that badge, they wouldn't be nothing. And again, police are just humans. So if I'm a racist before I came to police, I'm really gonna be racist after, because now nothing can stop me from beating a Negro up. Alright, let me read some more of this. It said colored people and slaves who lived in remote parts of the town suffered in a special manner. Searchers scattered powder and shot among the clothes, and then sent other parties in to find them and bring them forward as proof that they were plotting insurrection. Everywhere men, women, and children were whipped to blood spilled in puddles. And again, they care less if you was a child. They still beat you. They still whipped you to blood spilled down. And so that's why when they come in today, they don't care this little girl or this little boy got a handgun. I'm about to blow this black Negro away. Because I had to show my authority to these black Negroes. You guys might have a black president, but we're still in charge of you, nigger. It said, the colored people, unless they happen to be protected by some influential white person, will rob the clothing and everything else the marauders thought worth carrying away. And so there you have it. That's subculture right there, man. It comes down to authority. It comes down to exerting force and maintaining authority and putting the image in our mind that no, you guys are still subject to us. You see? And so we're out there and the police come, walking down the street, minding our business. Just know that we don't have to do nothing. So stop saying I didn't do nothing. Stop saying that. That ain't got nothing to do with the police. They care less you ain't doing nothing. Your job is to maintain order and keep your black behind off the street. And put you in a situation where you were or you are a slave. Where you're not a whole man. You're not a whole woman. Because in prison, you don't decide when you eat. You don't decide when you go outside and play. You don't decide when you clean your behind. You don't decide who you sleep with. You're told that by the guards of the prison. What grown man wants to be told when and where he can do what he's supposed to do to keep living? How does that mess with your psychology to be told as a grown man, alright, y'all can play on the yard, or there's a riot, you guys on lockdown, you guys are on punishment? A grown man being told, I'm on punishment because everybody else around me was acting a fool. How does that make me feel as a grown man? And so is that where they want you as a black person to be? Yes, they do, absolutely. But that's the subculture we live in. Yeah, man, I gotta keep stopping, man. People wanna come in the room when I'm in the recording. Hold on for a minute. Never mind. Alright, yeah. It's kinda like remember Training Day with Denzel Washington? Sitting in that car he had and he seen two people about to do a drug deal. In the car like, that's right. Come on down. And that's how the police is. They want us to do something stupid. They have a reason to take our black behinds to jail. They have a reason to shoot our black behinds. So saying to argue with the police ain't gonna do it. In fact, the police not even gonna find authority. The judge is. So take your case to the judge, man, not the police on the street. See, our ignorance, and that's what the Bible says. Our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Our ignorance is what's killing a lot of us, man. Crazy. But as you see, that's my point right there, that there is a subculture within the police community. That's why when they come at us, they're not treating us as a human. They're not treating our daughters and our sons like young men. They're treating us like stray animals. Come in with hands clocked on their gun. That's why I do it at the Fruitvale station. The dude was so quick to take that gun out. When he had him on his back, like what can you do? What damage can I do if I'm laying on my back with a knee in my back? How in the world can I hurt a policeman? All you had to do is handcuff this dude. No. You really feel endangered for your life? That you had to take out something to shoot him and tase him? Even if you was reaching for your taser. What was he gonna do on his back with his hands behind his back, on his stomach with his hands behind his back to hurt you? Again, that's how they view us. But again, that's how we view ourselves. It's how you view yourself. It's how you're gonna let other people treat you. And so, what we gonna do? Gotta start educating ourselves, black people. Stop thinking that hood mess is being about that life. Or being about that life, you have to live in order to be about that life. Being dead ain't being about nothing. That's being about that death. Because that's you got that death spirit with you. Anyway, that's all I gotta say about that. But I just noticed, and I'm just looking at these, it's irritating me, but you understand. You want to know the significance of something, you gotta look at the origins of it, man. And so the next time police come towards you with a shirt like this, ain't that clean? You like that, right? You like Chris Tucker, man. Yeah, when he around, man, I be quiet, but when he leave, I be talking again. See, you live. You live to talk another day. That's Pop said. Alright, man, I'm out. See you.
Bad boys, what you want, what you want, what you gonna do when Sheriff John Brown come for you? Tell me what you wanna do, what you gonna do? Yeah, bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?